Folks. So I want to touch just a little bit on this whole extraterrestrial thing and this narrative with what they're calling UAPs now, what used to be formerly known as UFOs. Um, there's a couple things I just find curious about some of the information. I mean, they did their little meeting here with their NASA panel that where they said there's no convincing evidence for extraterrestrial life connected with UAPs. So, and it's interesting that they use the word ambiguity. Okay, amid ambiguity and poor data, we don't know exactly what we're looking for. So they pretty much kind of still leave the mystery out there. But there's one of these characters that says, quote, I want to emphasize this loud and proud that there is absolutely no convincing evidence for extraterrestrial life associated with UAPs, end quote, said Dan Evans. And now we all know NASA lies, though, so you really can't trust what NASA says. So there's a good chance there could be extraterrestrial life out there. Just maybe it's not coming from directly above us and from deep outer spaces. Maybe it's coming from out and around us. Maybe, possibly, there could be people that have survived out there under the ice wall and under certain, conditions and circumstances. So I myself believe if there are extraterrestrials out there, I believe they're either coming from out and around us and around our realm or from underneath, from underground. I don't think that they're coming from this deep outer, vast expansive universe and space that spans for millions and millions and millions of hundreds of millions of miles, myself personally. And a lot of these things that they deem as unidentified flying objects or unidentified anomalous phenomena now, I think the majority of them, a very good percentage of them, are most likely our own military and the Department of Defense's equipment and machines and crafts and things that they're working on and developing. And they have to keep this narrative out there, though. They have to keep the mystery out there so that when they're out there testing things in the public theater, there's more talk going on about this mystery of, oh, it's probably aliens from another planet because we don't have that kind of technology type of a narrative. And I'm not buying that myself. I don't buy that. We're farther along with our technology when it comes to aerospace than they are letting on. And I think they're testing things up there now, and they need this, this mystery and this narrative, though. Because if things go wrong or if what they're doing up there has a negative impact or a negative influence on our environment, they don't want to have to take the responsibility. They can just say that, oh, well, it's just, we don't know what it is. We just don't know exactly what we're looking for, which I think is pretty shameful because we've been giving these agencies millions of dollars for decades, adding up to trillions of dollars. And here it is 60, 80 years later into the whole investigation process, even longer. I mean, we're talking about going on 80 years, you know, and that's the best that you can do is you can tell us that we don't even know what we're supposed to monitor. We don't even know what we're supposed to be looking for still. I don't know. I don't want to go on and on too much about it, but it's just interesting to me that when they're talking about this panel, um, they would choose this word ambiguity. And, if we look up the definition of ambiguity, it's a doubtfulness or uncertainty as regards interpretation, something of doubtful meaning. Um, they leave it open, and we're referencing this article here from Sage Journals. Um, the maintenance of ambiguity in Martian exobiology, just as an example, it talks about this, that how do scientists maintain their research programs in the face of not finding anything? Continual failure to produce results can result in declining support, scientific controversy, and credibility challenges. And it has, especially when when it comes to this whole extraterrestrial thing. You know, they leave it open for interpretation for a reason because it provides good cover stories, in my opinion. But this goes on to say that we elaborate on a crucial mechanism for sustaining the credibility of research programs through periods of non-detection, the maintenance of ambiguity. Okay. By this, we refer to scientific strategies that resist closure or an experiment's premature end by creating doubt and negative findings and fostering hope for future positive results. Okay. To illustrate this concept, we draw upon the recent history of Martian exobiology. Since the 1960s, planetary scientists have continually tried and failed to find evidence of life on Mars. And yet, interest in extraterrestrial life detection remains high, with more missions to Mars underway. Thanks to Elon Musk, right? Through three, okay, I want you to take note of that number three. Through three destabilization events of non-detection, we show how exobiologists sustain the search for Martian life by casting doubt on negative findings, pointing to other possible unexplored routes to success, and finally reconfiguring operations around new methods or goals. New approaches may take the form of shifts in scale, method, and object of interest. And by pivoting to a different scale, method, or object, exobiologists have continued to study a subject continually lacking proof of existence and made important discoveries about life on Earth. So the way I see it, they've been investing all of this time and money and occupying our most brilliant minds researching and looking into the existence of life on a whole nother planet that is light years away, supposedly, right? Why? What do you think? How far along do you think we would be right here in our very own realm had we taken all of these resources that have been invested into all of these extraterrestrial things and applied them to right directly to something that would directly affect and impact our realm here to find out answers right here about our own realm? Okay, imagine how far along we would be. We'd not be wasting time on stuff like this. And I know some of y'all don't see it as a waste, and I respect that, whatever. But I myself see it as a waste of money. I think it's ridiculous that we are spending millions of dollars to research what these other planetary bodies are like light years away. And when we don't even really know for certain that that's what these lights in the sky are. Because if you look at their own published documents, they leave that up for mystery too, because everything that they present has been doctored in CGI. If you look at the raw images that they use, that they then manipulate and apply their computer model technology to, the AI, they're just lights in the sky. Anyway, let's go back to this extraterrestrial thing, right? Extraterrestrial life. And I think that number 3 is curious, where they mention that in this abstract here that through 3 destabilizing events of non-detection. And if we look at the word terrestrious, three things 3 times. There's a tongue twister. Say that 3 times fast. 3 things 3 times. 3 things 3 times. 3 things. I can't. Anyway, we look at terrestrial, retrial 3 times, translated from Latin. Extraterrestrial, out of 3 things of the trial. And I think that has somewhat of a significance when it comes to interpretations concerning the trinity of things when it comes to religion and stuff too. So it's all kind of tied in, I think, on a certain level. Because years ago, people thought that aliens were demons. I think what they used to interpret as, demons, which is like unexplained things occurring, which, years ago, it was most likely mad scientists like mixing up species and creating these, unnatural beasts and shit. Myself personally, that they created deformations as well through their scientific research and in their laboratories. They created defective human beings, I think. But anyway, years ago, these types of sightings and these types of things that people would experience were interpreted as demons. And I think that over the years that they have transferred that type of fear propaganda that surrounds the presence of these things that are not from our realm, so to speak, into aliens. And that's what people are interpreting now, is what used to be interpreted as demons are now interpreted as aliens, which I don't, like I said, because I'm repetitive, I'll say it again. I don't believe there's anything coming from the deep outer reaches of deep outer space. I think if there is anything coming into our immediate realm, it's coming in from out and around us, or from underground, or from the oceans. You have to remember, we have large areas of our oceans down here at ground level that are still unexplored and that they can't give us explanations for. We have the Marianas Trench too. I think we should be investing a little bit more time and money into that. I mean, as a kid myself, I used to be absolutely fascinated by Jacques Cousteau. And one of my dreams, and I think it's even written in one of my essays I did for school, for grade school, for a future career and what I wanted to do when I grew up, was I wanted to be like a marine biologist. I wanted to live on a houseboat off one of the coasts, and I wanted to study the oceans. I was fascinated with Jacques Cousteau. And I just think, we should be investing a little bit more money in studying, things that are going on right here in our realm instead of all of these far out things myself personally. But I just think it's curious that, when they talk about the use of and the maintenance of ambiguity in this type of technology investigating into extraterrestrials and stuff like that, I just think the 3 tests is very curious to me when translated from Latin extraterrestrial out of the 3 things of the trial. Anyway, I don't know why I did this video. Hopefully you enjoy it. I just felt compelled for some reason. I don't know. Stay safe and mindful. Know that I appreciate you and that you matter very much to me. And this little button down here says stop sharing, but I'm not really going to stop sharing. Okay. Don't ever stop sharing, folks. Even if you think it's just some silly video that you don't think anybody's going to watch, if you feel compelled to share it, share it. Don't stop sharing. Keep sharing, sharing, sharing. Sharing is caring. Okay. So even though it says stop sharing down here, and I'm about to click this button that says stop sharing to end this video screen recording, I'm not going to stop sharing though. And I don't think you should either. Sharing is caring. Can I get an amen?